Hello everybody, it's your amazing pal, Baby Lopez. Today I'm thinking about watching something on YouTube. Gonna do another reaction video. All voice. Maybe I'll watch this. Don't forget this. Wait, before. Oh god. Before this video, I watched this video. Could you please subscribe to Zami SU? Zami SU? Don't know what that means. Subscribe to him, leave a like, and let's get on with the video. That'd be Scrap Trap.
I always come back.
I could hear you breathing. Admit it, you wanted to let me in.
Sure.
Why do you hide inside these walls?
Keep my room.
Don't be shy.
But I'm
These
not.
are strange circumstances that have brought us together.
Looks like something bad happened. I guess you forgot about me. Want to see the scooping room?
Uh-oh, how unfortunate.
I like this one.
Uh-oh, how
It's like
unfortunate.
Tina the Tiger.
I'm gonna do a sneaky thing and throw a new contender in the ring.
I don't know why people say it
How
struggles from boy to girl.
unfortunate.
Weird.
Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I know how much you like to fight, so I'll add a new problem to your night.
Never
Hey,
underestimate
my
the
lad.
cunning of a pirate. Or a fox, for that matter.
Yes, my lad.
You never stood a chance.
I know I didn't. To you.
I came for ye booty. That be treasure, you know. I can't run like I used to, but I can pull myself apart just fine.
Oh, do you want to know?
So much more spacious in here. I may stay a while.
Don't get distracted. I'm ready for my close-up.
Oh, you
Smile.
added.
Say cheese.
Okay.
Today is all about me.
It seems you couldn't make it to my show, so I brought the show to you.
Okay, Funtime Foxy the
Show
winner.
times are on the hour, not a moment before and not a moment later. It's time to take your final bow.
Okay, I'm bowing right now.
I'm sorry, but there was never enough room on this stage for both of us.
I'm not
A
on a
performance
stage.
was demanded of me, and now I have delivered. Encore!
I bet you weren't expecting me, were ya?
Oh no.
Turn your back for 1 second and I'm like, was you? Ninja skills. You and I don't get to talk as often as I'd like.
Ninja
Everyone
skills.
underestimates me, but then they turn their back and I'm like, boo, and they're like, what? Move over, Freddy Fazbear. Happy Frog is the new star of the show. We've only just begun.
Oh,
I
I
will
like it.
never let you leave. I
Oh.
will never let you rest.
Please, I would like to rest.
Did things get really hot in here, or is it just me?
No.
Burn with me. The fire within me burns eternal, and now you shall as well.
Good to see you back though.
Burning reminder
Are we recording this?
of your misdeeds. Greetings from the fire, and from the one you should not have killed. Don't be afraid.
Oh no.
Soon you will look just like me. Beautiful.
Mean ugly?
I get to play take apart and put back together. You won't feel a thing.
Sure I will.
Wanted to wait until just the right moment to drop in.
Cool.
So much more fun hanging out in here with you.
You're just like
Here and always watching. The one you shouldn't have killed.
I know.
Seeing you powerless is like music
Well, now we
to
know.
me.
It's a girl.
I don't hate you, but you
Yes,
need
you
to
do.
stay out of my way. I recognize you, but I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore. The others are under my protection. The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
You and I will be making music together for a long, long time. You hear that? It's the sweet, sweet sound of your eternal silence. Hey, keep it down, would ya? When I'm here, you play by my rules. A song was requested of me, and now I sing it.
Don't you hate getting killed by obscure secondary characters? Stranger danger. I was just waiting for you to drop your guard. Whoops, that's gonna leave a mark. This is how it feels, and you get to experience it over and over and over again, forever. I will never let you leave.
When you put a top hat on, I'll probably join you.
You will not be spared. You will not be saved. The shadow fears.
See the breath, man?
I am your wickedness, made of flesh. I am here to claim what is left of you. I will vomit you back to relieve your horror.
Come closer. Help me count my teeth. You're not so big. Just a bite-sized morsel. You knew I'd get you eventually. There just isn't room in here for both of us. Flash that light on the right. It can't save you now.
Let me put you back together, then take you apart all over again. Let's see how many times you can be pulled apart. I assure you, I am very real.
I don't want to put the part.
This time, there is more than an illusion to fear. We know who our friends are, and you are not one of them.
No.
This is a nightmare that
Wait, you're a boy and the other one's a girl?
wake from.
I'm confused.
This time, death cannot save you. The nightmare is just beginning. Let's taste death again and again and again. I am the fearful reflection of what you have created.
What did you think of my act? I don't get out much, so you'll have to forgive my enthusiasm. I hope you enjoyed the grand finale. Now is my time to shine. He tried to release you. He tried to release us. But I'm not gonna let that happen.
No.
I will hold you here. I will keep you here. No matter how many times they burn us.
I consider it a dignified death. Not really. It was actually quite pathetic. If you sit by the river long enough, you will see the body of your enemy float by.
Something wrong with this guy.
Even monkeys fall from trees. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. The talented hawk hides his claws.
Why so blue? You know I'll be true, and now I'll make slippers out of you. So good to see you again, my truest friend. But now your life must end. What a fine day to come here and say that your face and flesh
thought you could fool me with that sign, but I was too smart for you. I may not like wet floors, but the smell of fresh meat is just too enticing. Whoops. Looks like you're the one that slipped up this time.
Yar, what can I do for ya? Yarg, how may I be of service to ya? Yar, who touched me bird? Yar, me bird likes you, so I'll do ye a favor. Yar, you win some, you lose some. Yarg, you play with fire, and sometimes you get burned.
Please deposit 5 coins. Please deposit 5 coins.
Please deposit 5 coins.
You are attempting to trick Freddy. You are attempting to...
Freddy doesn't like this.
Thank you for depositing 5 coins.
Time for your controlled shock. Time for your controlled shock. Let's see how many pieces I can cut you into. You won't die, but you'll wish you could.
You won't get tired of dying, will you? Where's my beak? Lodged in your forehead, of course. You won't get tired of my voice, will you? Let's go somewhere more private, so I can eat you.
That game was totally rigged. That's what you get for leaving me hanging. If I get jump scared, you get jump scared. Mr. Hugs got me again. It's not my fault. I have these fat plastic fingers and can't press the buttons.
Psst, I have something to tell you. Hey, I want to tell you something. Psst, hey, over here. Get closer. Excuse me. Can you come a little closer? Hey, down here. Hello, I wanted to ask you something. It's something really important.
Time to face the consequences of your behavior. Might as well face the fact you were always destined to fail. You blinked. What is this new prison? Is it me trapped or is it you? Perhaps it is us both. I may be missing my face, but even I could see his tongue.
I never thought I'd make it through that vent, but now we are together. Let me show you how to break your face and look like me. Come closer. Let's smile together. I was the first. I have seen everything. I have seen him, the one you shouldn't have killed.
I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed. No light can save you now. I have always been hiding in your shadow. What a gift to relish, a victim that can't perish. I am given flesh to be your tormentor.
It will all be over soon. There is room for one more. Come spend eternity inside with me. I've been looking for you, and now I will never let you go. I'm so glad that I found you. Let me make room for you.
My friend, you have met a terrible, terrible demise. But, I don't feel too bad about it. After all, if it weren't from me, it would have just been from someone else, you know? I guess what I'm trying to say is life goes on. Well, for everyone else, life goes on, not for you. You're dead. That's neither here nor there. It reminds me of one summer day in the park. I was having just a delightful picnic with my good friend Orville. And I said to him, Orville, I have a story. And he said to me, what's the significance of the story? And I said to him, Orville, not every story has to have significance, you know? Sometimes a story is just a story. If you try to read into every little thing and find meaning in everything anyone says, you'll just drive yourself crazy. Had a friend do it once. Wasn't pretty. We talked about it for years. And not only that, but you'll likely end up believing something you shouldn't believe, and thinking something you shouldn't think, or assuming something you shouldn't assume, you know? Sometimes, I said, a story is just a story. So just be quiet for 1 second of your life and eat your sandwich, okay? Of course, it was only then I realized I made sandwiches, and poor Orville was having such difficulty eating it. Elephants have those clumsy hands, you know? Actually, I suppose that's the problem. They don't have hands at all, do they? They're all feet. And I couldn't imagine someone asking me to eat a sandwich with my feet. Now, if I recall correctly, there was a bakery nearby. I said to him, Orville, let me go get you some rye bread. Now, I'm unsure if elephants enjoy rye bread, but I assure you that Orville does. Now, this was on a Tuesday, which was good because rye bread was always fresh on Tuesday. They made sourdough bread on Monday and threw it out Wednesday, or rather, they sold it at a discount for people wanting to feed the ducks, and then probably at the end of the day, finally, they threw it all out. I don't recall. I do remember a man who would bring his son to the bakery every Wednesday and then go feed the ducks. He would buy all of the sourdough bread. Of course, you know, you're not supposed to feed the ducks sourdough bread at all. It swells up in their stomach and then they all die. At least that's what I've heard. You know, I never saw any ducks die myself, but I did notice a substantial decrease in the duck population over the course of a few years. I just never thought to stop the man and tell him that he was killing the ducks by feeding them sourdough bread. And if you want my opinion on the matter, and I told Orville this as well, if you want to feed ducks, or birds, or any kind for that matter, it's best to buy seed. I mean, when you think about it, breads of any sort don't occur in nature. They don't grow on trees or spring up from the bushes. I don't think birds know what to do with bread. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So I bought Orville some rye bread. What a fine day it was. Well, it seems that your journey has ended. Very sorry about that. It was always going to end this way, of course. If it weren't by me, it would have just been by some other, terrible thing. Just, you could not imagine how terrible it would be. Just, I get scared thinking about it. Glad it's not me. It reminds me of a time I was speaking to my good friend Orville. We were sitting on a park bench watching the pigeons. I was on the left, he was on the... Wait, was I on the right or left?
Helicopter.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. We were sitting on there watching the pigeons. And I said to Orville, friend, those birds are frozen. And he kind of looked at me like I lost my mind. But I reminded him that it was winter, and often birds will sit in a tree until they freeze. Then they sort of fall to the ground until the sun warms up and they can, move around again. So I said to Orville, you might as well save those breadcrumbs until the birds thaw, because they can't very well enjoy them in the condition they're in. To which he asked what I meant, and asking what condition the crumbs should be in before he threw them to the birds, assuming that I meant the birds couldn't enjoy the breadcrumbs in the condition that the crumbs were in, when in fact I had meant the birds could not enjoy them in the condition that the birds were in, considering that the birds were frozen. So he took a moment and then threw his last handful onto the ground. I said to him, Orville, why did you throw the breadcrumbs to the birds when I just told you they're frozen? To which he responded, the breadcrumbs are not frozen. Again, misunderstanding my words. I didn't mean to say that the breadcrumbs were frozen when I said I told you they're frozen. I'd been referring to the birds. In hindsight, what I should have said was, and this would make perfect sense, why did you throw the breadcrumbs to the birds when the birds are frozen? He misunderstood upon my correction, stating that he didn't know what else to do with the breadcrumbs, and that perhaps, when the birds thawed, they'd still be able to eat the crumbs. So I said to Orville, and this is what I said to him, I said, Orville, the birds may be dead. It seems that you have met a horrible demise, my friend, but, these things happen, and life goes on. Not for you, obviously, you're dead, but it reminds me of a time I was having a conversation with my friend Orville. We were, where were we? I think we were by the river. We were sitting by the river and watching the fish leap over the falls. And I said to Orville, sometimes I feel like a fish leaping over and over again, always trying to get somewhere, though I don't know where, only to find myself in the jaws of a beast. He, of course, looked at me, surprised, Have you been in the jaws of a beast, friend? To which I said, no, of course not, Orville. I said, no. I simply meant that life can seem like a relentless endeavor to overcome meaningless obstacles, only to meet an equally meaningless fate, regardless of your efforts, regardless of the obstacles you've passed. And Orville, he stood and proceeded to drape me with a picnic cloth, to which I asked him, I said, Fred, what are you doing? He looked at me very concerned, really. I feel like you've gotten too much sun. Indeed, indeed I had. He proceeded to pour me a glass of just ice-cold lemonade. Ooh, you ever mix it with iced tea? You do like a little half lemonade, half... Ooh, it's so... You should try it some... Well, you can't because you're dead. But anyways, so you may be asking yourself, how did I go from sitting by the falls and drinking lemonade to being wedged in the air duct? Not only with Orville, but with an entire assortment of fruity-colored friends. Well, there's really no good answer to that, but perhaps I met a demise of my own at some point, and this is my afterlife or my dream, whatever it might mean. I honestly don't know. Or maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. Maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. It seems that you have met your end. What a pity. I don't feel too bad about it, though. After all, if it weren't me, it would have just been one of the others, I guess. I'm honestly just glad to be out of those air ducts. It's not easy for a hippopotamus to fit up there, and not easy to get down either, and not as young as I used to be, as you can see. I used to be able to do all sorts of things. You're young, you're vibrant, you have that sort of pep in your step. It reminds me of a conversation I was having with one of my good friends, Orville. We were having a nice picnic one day. I believe it was summer. No, perhaps it was... Was it the fall? Yes. It was the fall because the leaves had turned already. But I said to Orville, I says, Orville, I have a story to tell you. And Orville looked at me, kind of odd and said, well, what's it about? I said to him, not every story has to be about something, Orville. Sometimes a person just wants to talk. Why does everything have to be a story? I said to him. He just looked at me and he said, well, you said you had a story. And, he was quite right. I did, in fact. I told him I had a story. I suppose if a person just wants to talk, then it's best to not announce that you're telling a story. Telling a story does come with its own pressures and expectations, I suppose. After all, if you're just talking to a friend, then there's no more expectations than if you were talking into the wind. Words by themselves aren't expected to carry, aren't expected to stick. But if you announce you're telling a story, well then, there'd better be a point to it all, No one wants to sit and listen to someone ramble on and on and on with absolutely no end in sight. So, it's good to be mindful that when you tell someone that you're about to tell a story, that you have something to say. Telling someone that you're going to tell them a story is tantamount to asking them to stop what they're doing and pay attention. You're basically saying, hey, buddy, stop everything. Stop what you're thinking. I have a solution to everything. And, well, I didn't really have any story to tell. In hindsight, I probably just misspoke when I said that I had a story. I think it would have just been better to tell Orville that I wanted to tell him something rather than tell him that I had a story. But, you know, even then, it might have put too much importance on the whole thing. Either way, it was quite a nice day. I remember that we were drinking tea.
Oh, thanks guys for coming.